we are back with the LAS-7 Dagger. Where'd you go? There you are. I did end up coloring the model a bit because I wanted to take a picture, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Let's go into edit mode here, and let's select this face. And over here I got a couple different colors, but I'm going to create a new one just for you guys. We'll go to new, and we'll call this, about silver, why not? And then we'll go to this base color here, and you can choose whatever you want the color to be up here. But I usually, since we do have this sample here, I'm gonna go ahead and select this eyedropper, and let's just plop it over here. And now our color is automatically being set to that. And then with this face selected, we can assign. See, if you click on the face, it switches to whatever color it happens to be. And so if I wanted to color this face silver that we just made, we can hit assign, and there we go. So I'm going to go back to dark gray for that one. Boop. All right, and so now we can get back to our sight system up here. Now, I did make other weapons that use this sight system, like the grenade pistol. So I feel like I could just copy and paste that one. Maybe I can append it. Let's see. And appending allows us to grab objects that we've already made in other blend files and bring them over to this one. So I'm going to go over here to grenade pistol because I know that one had one. I don't know if it's the same size though. We might need to scale it a bit. Here's the sight. And let's go to object and the sight. And there that is. Pops up. And I think it's exactly the same. Yeah, basically. Just the size might be a little off. Most definitely. Mm, we could go a couple of ways with this. Is this connected? Yeah, it is. So I think what we're going to end up doing is tightening this a bit. Well, first off, let's see. Let's make sure we can get some magnets on here. So how wide is this? It's only 3.64 millimeters. That's not terribly wide. Because our magnets, I think, are 9 millimeters wide, which is why this one's so wide. Which means that would not fit on there, and we can widen it. But we might throw off the look a bit. You know what else we could do would be to simply use some smaller magnets. But this piece, I know from experience, this site tends to be kind of small already. Okay, maybe we'll do a mix of both. So what I'm going to do is grab up this site, go in on X-ray mode, and then we're going to click on this like so. Then let's get rid of those two, because all I want to do is stretch this out with GY, and we're just going to pull it out a bit. More or less like that. And we're going to need to pull this one out as well. We didn't click on that. GY, and we'll just snap it over here. We do have that kind of hard edge, but I think that is a sacrifice we'll have to make in order to get our sight to fit on properly. So next, we need to be 0.5 millimeters away for this to slot in decently. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude. I'm going to turn off snap and then G, Y, and then just pull this out to at least 0.5. And I hit period to zoom in on that. And let's just for safety's sake, let's maybe extend it to 6.5. 0.5. That way we have some leeway. And this doesn't need to be super tight around here because the magnet's going to be what's holding it on. This just needs to kind of guide along the rail. So this one seems like it could be beveled. So I'm going to bevel that just this once. And let's go ahead and flatten this. So with that face selected, I'm going to hit S for scale and then Y and 0. Actually, let's change the pivot point to median point. That'll work a little better. S, Y, 0. And that flattens it out. So we got a nice flat plane there. And let's go ahead and extend this out. Just like with the other one, let's see if we can get 0.65 millimeters away from that. We'll make these points here. That way we can just snap these on there. So I'm going to shift double click on that one to make it our active, and then with that whole face selected, I'm going to hit G, Z, and we're going to turn snap back on, and then G, Z, and snap it right there, just like that. And we're going to select this face again, and go back into vertices mode, and G, Z, well, actually we need to go a little higher, don't we? This whole thing needs to be shrunk. So I'm going to hit S for scale and then Z, and then we'll shrink it down a touch. Um, hmm. Let's go ahead and hide this reference image for a second with H. And then with those selected, we're going to drag this guy out. Let's snap it over here. There's two links. What? You know, let's smooth that out. Let's also make this flat. So I'm going to hit SY0 again. And this one is 0.7, this one is 0.6. So let's go on that one. I don't know why this one's here. It must be from the old one when I was messing around with it. So then we'll hit G, Y, and snap it over there. That should still give plenty of room to slide around on it. And since it's mirrored, we don't really need to do much more. Now it's 5.85, so we should be able to set a magnet right on top of that. So let's X-ray. I'm going to go back into this mode, and I think this is actually backwards. So I'm going to right click on here, geometry to origin, and I'm just going to rotate it around to 180 degrees. And if you've been following the video so far, you shouldn't have any problems making this site. Just basic geometric shapes you start off with, and then slowly get the shape, and then bevel as needed. Really not too tricky. One thing though would be to have this rim. This rim right here. Because I like to put a little bit of plastic on the site and then dot it with a little red dot so it's a red dot site. And the plastic will sit right in here, glue in there. So that shouldn't be difficult otherwise. And so now let's put that magnet hole there. So it'll be, I guess it'll be okay right here. And then since we already have the magnet hole from the other one, let's just go ahead and get this one. So we're going to use a 9x3 millimeter magnet. So the hole we need to make is going to be 3 millimeters by 9.7 for this one, because the magnet is what, 9.5 I think. We just need a little bit of room so that magnet can sit nicely in here. So in order to put that on our dagger, I'm going to go ahead and take this circle, Shift D. We're going to take that down. I'm going to hit P to separate the selection. And then now this is its own thing. We can hide that with H. And now we can knife project into here. So in edit mode with the main component in edit mode, we're going to control left click on our circle. Oh, we're going to get this orientation and then go up here to mesh, knife project, and make sure cut through is off this time. So now we have a nice little circle cut out. And let's get rid of this vertex. And we'll just extrude. Oh, I don't want to have those selected. Just the circle. We'll extrude with E and then hit Z. Go straight down. And let's put this at, since the magnet's almost exactly 3 millimeters, we'll raise it just a touch. Maybe 2.6. That way it sticks out just a little bit. And that should give it a nice connection with the sight's magnet. So that's our magnet hole that's going to hold the sight on there. And we can always get back the sight just for appearance's sake. And we won't need this anymore. And that'll sit around there-ish. And that should be just fine. Another chunk complete. Alright, so I'm thinking there's a detail. There's that really big screw sitting there. Right here. Does that go through the other side, or is it just on one side? It might have a tiny bit coming out there. So let's go ahead and put that guy in there. Oh, and also, we're kind of getting into non-mirrored territory. So first off, I'm just going to select all and then Shift N to recalculate the normals. I was seeing some weird colors in there, so that should be fine. Let's before we go into asymmetry, I'm thinking we should do anything that needs to be symmetrical. So it looks like these bits are on both sides. So maybe we can do the bolt-looking bits there before we do that screw. And I'm guessing that goes through. Kind of attaches those two together, perhaps. Maybe. I think that's what that does. I'm not entirely sure what it is for, but... and it does look like it slants, too. And maybe that, but that might also be the angle that I took this shot from. Because... let's hide this handle. Hide this, too. And there does seem to be a slant over here, which is interesting. Means we're gonna have to do that, huh? Alright. Alright. Let's turn X-ray mode off. And I guess we gotta redo these faces then. So X, only face. Then let's redo this. I'm pretty sure this is fine. As is. And then the same for over here. And what is this? Did I just do that? Oh, that looks old. I'm not sure what that edge was for. Oh, I was covering this face, huh? Okay, that line goes all the way back there, and that is not one that we currently need. So let's connect these two, I think, but this one goes all the way over here. So what I'm going to do is put auto merge back on, subdivide, put this vertex that we just subdivided, and then put that there. That way it's a bit more even. Now we can create this face without issue. And then this face, which will be diagonal, I think. And we got this face. this face. And let's go ahead and seal up this face as well. Alright, so now we can think about putting this diagonal on. See, I needed that face, that way we can do this. And GX, drag that a little bit over. A little more. Whoop, a little more. Like that. And then um, this part seems to thin out considerably. Oop, you know what, let's get that second reference image up. I can take a better look at this. So these are not even. This actually goes inward over here a bit. That's unusual. I'm guessing that's more of a design aesthetic than having any actual purpose with the prop or the weapon. And that also means I think we'll have to redo these faces again. So let's get rid of this one at least. And then let's subdivide this one. GZ to put that on the same level over there. That way we can move this one around a bit. Because these two faces seem to go over. Actually, this point seems to want to go over here. And this point seems to want to go back here. And then this point wants to go over here. Might be similar to that one. So that's making a lot of weird geometry. Um, hmm. But okay, I guess. And what about that point there? See if we can find a good look at that. That part still seems very straight. It's just these parts that stick out that are kind of awkward. So from here, I think we can get some extruding going down here. Snap it on there. Let's get rid of this face and put it over here. And then these two angles we can get rid of. And then attach this with a face. And then we can put a face in here. I think that's what we're doing with that particular piece. And then we have this bit going in, and then this bit kind of sticking outward. I don't know if this is a flat plane, because if it's not, it might print kind of weird. Hmm. I guess we can leave it for now. So I can't think of what else to do with it, really. Unless we can subdivide this guy and snap it over here with GZ and then GX. And then do the similarity here, GZ, GX. And now we can get rid of this face and put some new faces here, like that. And this one I think will have to get the same treatment. Subdivide twice, GZ, GX, GZ, GX, and then Get rid of the face and put in multiples there. That way the printer shouldn't get confused with that awkwardly shaped face. And then it seems like this part goes over here. Let's make a face over here. Say these. And then we'll take this face, and I guess we can move you over here. I guess we can snap it there. Now this is screwy. Maybe get rid of that edge. And then we will create another point by subdividing GX. Get that over there, maybe remake that. This looks kind of flat, actually. So maybe... Wait. So the only division is up here and down here. The center panel seems to be very flat and smooth. And where did that start? So you got the division, and then you got this flat piece, and then this other flat piece down here. So maybe this should be like that. And then these should be like this. And if that's the case, then we're going to want to get rid of that. So you don't want that internal geometry messing with our print. Let's get rid of that too. And then we can seal that up. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is kind of an awkward little bit, as I fail to understand its purpose, but oh, GY over here. Let's just measure this carefully. 7.73. Just to make it as precise as we dare. Let's go 7.73. And then we'll put that at 7.73 as well. There we go. So that spacing should be fairly even. Let's get rid of that edge. We'll extrude from here in GY. Get that over there. Then we can seal those. Looking good so far, I think. Do we need to extend that at all? Because why is this going inward here? Is that something to concern ourselves with? Or can we get rid of this? Let's see if these are on the same level. It looks like they are. It does look like they are. I guess those are fine. Maybe we can seal this up then. Mm -mm. Oh, I guess because this is that outward. So we got rid of that. And we might be able to seal this now. That phase is there. And this here. And there. That might be that. I don't think we need these guys anymore. Okay, so I guess that's that awkward little thingy. Now we could try to add the screw, which I guess goes into this bit and helps hold that on. I don't think we're gonna need that, or maybe we should utilize it. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, because that definitely goes in there. And it does just look like a minus screw. So I wonder if we could just get some real screws and use that to help reinforce this point here. Or, because I got some pluses. I don't think I have any minuses on hand. I can get them easily enough, but maybe we should utilize that. Let me go ahead and get a screw so I can get the right hole size for it. Alright, so have my calipers here. So this is going to be 4 millimeter wide screws. So we need 4.5 millimeter wide holes. Let me get situated again. There we go. Alright, so if we do want to use these holes, we can use them to reinforce the prop, which is always cool to use the actual pieces of the item the way they were intended to in the design. So what we're going to do is click on, let's say this face to get it right in the center. Hit F3, cursor to active, then I hit Shift A, and then get a circle. And then, what was that, 4.5, right? Yeah. 4.5 whole, 5, and this is radius, so we divide by 2. Now we have our circle. Let's rotate it along the y-axis, 90 degrees, holding control so I can get those 5-degree increments. I'm going to hit P, separate selection, and then we're going to go into object mode and select that, and then I'm going to move it down over here. And let's go into edit mode and then control, left click with this in edit mode, and then mesh, knife project, and then this time let's cut through. So now we got holes going all the way through this bit. And we can take those faces there. And let's get rid of them. And then we'll take these circles in vertices mode, and then switch over to edge mode, right click, bridge those edge loops. So now we have tunnel. And let's do the same thing over here. Edge loops, bridge edge loops. So now we got tunnel, and now our screw can go in there. So that's at least one thing we don't have to model, and it can help reinforce the build. This part doesn't look terribly strong, but that should be okay. That should be okay. And I don't think we got any other screws to worry about here. Alright, so now that we have that, um, I feel like that might be, oh, there are some little gaps in the sight rail there that we can put in. Mm, with those edges selected, we'll just right click, subdivide, and maybe four. One, two, three. Oh, maybe one more time. That way there's like, what, 6 subdivisions? Oop, happened over here. Control Z. Oh, I see. Because it doesn't go all the way down due to that part. So you know what? Let's get rid of that one and then subdivide and then take this line and just put it over here. Snap it along that vertice. That way, when we select these edges, they should all basically be the same. I think we're just going to put those gaps in here. So I'm going to subdivide. Is it fine? Yeah, it should be fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because there's 3 gaps, and so each one of these sides will get one of those gaps. So let's go ahead and get rid of these edges, delete edges, and then we'll take these, and then let's go over to pivot point, and it's already set to medium point, so we can S for scale, and then along the x-axis, and we'll say that's, yeah, 5mm gap. S, 5mm gap. And I'm holding shift to get these finer increments. And if you need even finer, you can just zoom in. Let's get over there. Alright. And I think that one's okay. Because that one is kind of half hidden by the sight there. Maybe we can move it a wee bit down. You know what? Let's just put 5mm increments over here too. Let's this to 5 as well. And even if it's a little bit off, it's fine. That's fine. There, so that way we got our gaps. Let's fill those faces in now. So we need these, and we'll extrude with E, and then Z, snap it down here. Now I'll take these vertices like that, hit F, fill in those faces, fill in that face, fill in that face, fill in that face, fill in that face, fill in that face. Now we got those. And now we'll take these 2 edges, fill in that face, these 2 edges, fill in that face, these 2 edges, fill in that face. Okay, there's those little bumpy ridges. I actually don't like those. Whenever you're trying to put the sight on or off, they can get caught in those. But they did it for the game, so we're going to do it for the prop. And that might be it for the symmetrical pieces. This is quite plain on this side, but the other side has the cooling cell, and it also has maybe a switch, a majig over here. And then, of course, we have the screw. So I think that's what we'll start next time. Pretty satisfied with where we are now, so it's looking pretty good. Alright, till next time.